I want to get rid of any spider webs that might be blocking the flame ports, because sometimes that can cause the heating not to work by blocking the flow of gas. I want to remove the top panel so I can get to those coils. Unit, they approved the major tune-up and we're going to do it. Gotta disconnect these wires so I can take the top panel off. Thanks. Coming. Don't need to squeeze that one, huh? Get rid of all these wires. And now, this. Look at this filter. Alright, so I got the hood popped. Let's look at the coils. The coils. Oh, unit's dirty. Just to get cleaned out. I'm just gonna get it from the inside out real thorough, and then I'm gonna get the outside at an angle from the top to bottom angle. I'm just gonna do this all the way around, nice and thorough. Got my coil cleaner mixed up. Oh my God, look at that thing. You gotta clean this whole return air compartment here. Clear the drain. I'll do that while the coil cleaner is doing its thing. Yeah, we're just gonna clean this out. Put some water in there for the drain. Cut this off. Get that out of there. And we have to make sure this drain is clear. I'm just gonna spin this off and then make sure that that's draining, and then I'll put the water hose in there. And then I'll put the water hose in here too so I can clear this P-trap. So I'm just going to repeat this process over and over 2 or 3 times. Okay. I hear everything. Just rinsing and repeating. Wow, look at that. I just sprayed it one more time. Those chemicals are penetrating those coils. I can feel the heat coming out of this thing. It's just cleaning everything up real good. And I put some in the drain pan too. I'm gonna put some in the blower motor as well. So look at that. So I took the blower motor out. Look how it's steaming. You guys can see the steam? You see that? Right in here. Don't ever let that fall in your eyes. You don't want it on your hands either. Like that. And then rinse it. Then hit it with some I'll leave that on there for a while, and I'll do the same thing to the other side. And that's it. P-trap. There you go. We're starting to clog the P-trap. drain. Allow it to drain. Change the filter every 3 months. Do the drain every year. And then after 5 or 10 years, you can do this. That's assuming that you use the system a lot. And also assuming that you don't want to do this every year.
Continue to do this.
The drain pan is pretty sandy.
I sprayed them again because they're really bad. So I'm just gonna leave that on there for another 15 minutes. Look at that. And I just wipe all this with a rag.
On the system, I'm gonna recommend him to get the non-pleated filters, more like the horse hay ones or the washable ones. Too much restriction in my opinion. What do you guys think? He's got 2 pleated filters, one on the return air filter grill and one in here inside the unit.
I like to clean all the wires so you can see the colors. So when you're troubleshooting, it becomes easier to troubleshoot.
I'll grab some sandpaper from the truck and take it to that sensor. There's a lot of moving parts in these systems, and you don't want these parts to get stuck because of some dirt or lint or hairs. Just get it cleaned every 5 years minimum. Wipe every compartment down, wash the blower motor, the coils, everything. To renew the electrical connections, clear out the drain line, check amperage, inches of water column, capacitors, contactors, just to make sure the charge is correct. Get you a delta T. Check the heat exchanger, especially if the system is very old. Make sure the insulation is not falling off, like this one. I'll bring some spray adhesives in the truck. Insulation needs to be against the metal, and it prevents condensation, so that when the sun, the extreme heat is hitting it, it doesn't create condensation due to the drastic difference in temperatures. And you pretty much just rinse or repeat. Rinse, repeat, wipe, rinse, you know. I'm only going to show you some parts of me cleaning it because, you know, it's pretty boring and repetitive. So pretty much I'm just going to wipe the whole compartment down in here. I'm just gonna let that drain.
That coil's looking really good.
Let me go check the drain.
See how it's looking a lot cleaner now? See that? The water's not so dirty as before.
Let it drain.
Design there. I'm gonna clean this area now.
The heat exchanger compartment.
Muddy. Real muddy in here. Oh boy. And the airflow is going this way. So this arrow should be pointing up. See that arrow? It's pointing up. The airflow is going this way. There you go. I'm gonna write the date on there. Let's go ahead and clean this compartment.
Basically the blower motor compartment. When the blower motor is installed, you can't get to these areas. So if you're gonna pull out the blower motor, just take advantage and clean out the compartment as well.
Ouch. Damn it. I'm just gonna keep spraying this. So I'm just gonna spray glue. Put some of this on the on this piece of rubber and on this insulation. It's falling apart. I'm just gonna let that dry a little bit. See that?
Just let it dry for about 10-15 seconds.
Okay, I think we're good.
This was probably getting sucked up by the blower motor.
Get this part here. So I got some spray glue on there. Just gonna wait for it to dry a little bit and then we'll paste it. So I'll spray the other side in the meantime. Real hot day, this can cause condensation and some issues. So I'm gonna let that dry a little bit while I paste this one back on. See that? This helps seal the heat in there so it doesn't jump up into the electrical compartment. Otherwise all the wires are brittle. You're gonna have a lot of failures in there. Let's go back and put some pressure on this insulation. It's falling off. Now we're cooking. It's very important to have that insulation on there. Everything is designed for a reason. Put this back on there. Okay.
So I just put a cupping right there where I made the cut. Put some tape on the coupling, call that a day.
I'm going to put some water in here and see if it leaks. Not leaking. Cool. Alright, so I gotta put that blower motor in now. Blower motor's back in there. So you gotta hook up the you know, these Molex plugs back in there, and I'm gonna wipe these things off. Pull it out, make sure it doesn't come back out easily, and then push it back in. That is it. Next one is this one. I heard it snap. That's the circuit board I just replaced.
So I pretty much just got to put all the door panels back on. Before I install them, I'm just going to wipe them down. The air is flowing through all these doors, so all this dirt goes back into the person's home. You don't want that. Now they're going to have clean air flowing through their system and into their homes.
Ta-da. Alright, let's put it on now. Make sure you get these wires in there first, because if I start moving it around, I can smash them and damage them. So I'm going to lift this up with one hand and shove the wires with the other hand through this hole. Got the wires through. I lifted this door up, and then I just shoved them in there, and I'm going to just pull, and make sure there's no slack in there. There's no slack. So I ran the wires through here. I put the connector, screw connector, and so the brown wire, remember the brown wire went to fan on the capacitor. Orange one went to the common, and then this one went to the relay. Oh, that's pretty tight. Everything's hooked up again.
So the gas was too rich. I had to tone it down some. It's calling for 3.0 and it was at 4.7.
Water column. Here I'm going to test out the heat exchanger. I'm going to jump out the blower motor, and then I'm going to take this light and I'm going to take it to each one of the ports. And if it blows it out, that means we have a cracked heat exchanger. And I would have to turn off the heat and just leave the cooling on.
So I got the blower motor blowing air across the heat exchanger. If there's a crack in it, air will seep in through the crack and turn off my light.
Okay, that one stayed on. I don't think you can see that, but you have to trust me. That one stayed on. And this one's staying on. And yeah, that one's staying on. And this very last one stayed on as well. It's kind of hard to see it, but yeah, we're good. Out red and white, just see if the heater works. Let's try the heater. There's a flame. Working beautifully. Now we have to make sure the fan's not on. And it's not, which means the control board is working. So I'm just going to make sure this blower motor turns on, and then we know we're good. There you go. Blower motor came on. Okay, good to go. You need to do the wire nuts, put everything back together, and that's it, guys. I'll go down there, turn it on, get a Delta T, all the wire nuts back put together. I think we're good to go. Okay.